everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm not even sure how I look right now. I finally have a professional camera, y'all. So it's lit. I'm super excited. So I want to start off by saying Merry Christmas, everyone. It's December the 25th, 2017, and I don't know why I keep doing this with my hands, but I'm so excited, y'all. I've been wanting to get a camera for so long, so one of my Christmas gifts, as you guys can tell, was a camera. So I'm very excited, and it's on my tripod, so it's lit. But today's video is something different. No more pregnancy vlogs. I said when I get back in front of the camera, I probably will have my baby, and I have had my baby actually 2 weeks ago. I had her at 36 weeks and 2 days. She was born December the 5th at 5:44 p.m. and I was in labor for 12 hours. So if you're interested in my birthing story, then keep watching. So like I said, if you're interested in my birthing story, then keep watching. Okay guys, I want to give you like a rundown of what happened and what led up to, you know, me giving birth. Okay, so you guys know, since about around 30 weeks or 31 weeks, you know, at sometime after my baby shower, that I had basically been diagnosed with gestational hypertension, and that I was in labor and delivery every other weekend. And if you watch my older videos, then you'll see like all the stuff that I was going through, and how I just kept going back to labor and delivery basically every other day, and how I was going to my prenatal appointments every week, every other day, and how hectic that was, and my overall pregnancy experience. All those videos are already on my channel, so check them out if you haven't checked them out already, so you'll be up to date about what's going on. So the last video I had posted, I was actually 36 weeks even, I believe, but I was doing a video about my 35-week experience, about how everything was going with me ending that week or whatever. And that night I uploaded, it was like it had to be like December the 3rd or December the 4th. Like December the 4th. It was like December the 4th. I think I went to labor and delivery that night and had my daughter the next evening. So that last video I posted, I was like, yes, I think this will be my last video. And y'all, when I say, I even posted on Twitter like, I could see me being back in labor and delivery on Monday night, and I was definitely back Monday night. I was supposed to get induced on December the 10th, but it was just too crazy. So I was checking my blood pressure every day, sending it to my doctor as I was told, and you know, I was doing that for a while. Every time I sent it, she would tell me to come in, but the last time I sent it, it was like super high. It was like borderline, if not stroke level, heart attack level. So she told me to go straight to labor and delivery as usual, but I'm like, I'm used to my pressure being high at this point, so can I just wait till the next day? Because I had 3 appointments the next day, 1 with my prenatal appointment and 2 in the actual labor and delivery building. 1 actually on the same floor as labor and delivery, and the other like 4 floors down. So I'm like, can I wait? She's like, no, please go tonight. And she's my doctor. She went to school for this. She doesn't lie. She doesn't smoke. Well, they've done it because I have a group. I had a group. They did this for so long. So I'm like, if my doctor's telling me I need to go tonight and I really need to go, I'm going to just go, even though I don't feel like it. So I dragged my boyfriend with me down to labor and delivery for the final time. This was December the 4th. We went around like 11:30, so it was just about to be December the 5th. So I get the labor and delivery. Well, we get the labor and delivery, you know. I get checked in. I, you know, do the routine things, you know. I had to leave a urine sample and get my blood drawn, and they hooked the monitor up to my belly to check, see the baby's heart rate, to see if it dip or not, contractions, and just make sure overall that everything's good between baby and me. So they did that, but they came back in like 30 minutes later, like, we found some protein in your urine, we're going to do a catheter. Mind you, I never had a catheter inserted before, and I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, if y'all could have seen my face when they said catheter, and I was just like, oh, okay. So, but the nurse was like, she was really good. She was like, want to do it fast, it might be a little uncomfortable, it's going to be really fast, and it'll be over before you know it. And a lot of people always say, you know, things will be over before you know it. But she really did her good job. She did it so good. Like, it was a little uncomfortable, but just for a second. And so then she placed it in, I immediately, like, went to the bathroom. And I'm like, is this normal? She's like, yeah, because it's like, on your bladder. So after she did that, she started talking to me. She said, my blood rate, they had found some urine I said some urine. They had found some protein, I think, in my blood and my urine or something like that. And my blood pressure was still spiking up since I got there. So they was talking about inducing me that night. But she said my doctor would be in to come talk to me. So my doctor came in like right as soon as she said that. And she was like, you might be able to go home. It looked like your blood pressure only spiked like once. She said we're going to take it one more time and then they'll let me know. So they took it one more time right there on the spot and it was high. She was like, no, she basically was like, we're going to induce you tonight. And I'm like, what the hell? So then like a team of other like doctors and stuff on call or like text, like a bunch of people came in and they pulled out the sonogram machine and they automatically start checking my amniotic fluid, checking the baby's heart rate, checking everything right then and right there. And my amniotic fluid was low, surprisingly. It was kind of low. Like all the other times I came in the labor and delivery, everything was fine. The amniotic fluid was fine, but this one particular time, like I came at the right time. They were like, the fluid was kind of low. Like, I'm glad you came in when you did. And I was having contractions like back to back. And I was 4 centimeters dilated. It was already, I had walked in the door already 4 centimeters dilated. If you watched the 35-week video, then you already know I was already 4 centimeters dilated on that video as well. So I didn't progress yet. So they come in, everybody leave out, they come back in with like a wheelchair, and I'm getting ruled to the actual labor and delivery room because I was in triage. So I get to the labor and delivery room, and they're like, we're going to put you on magnesium. And this is, you know, magnesium is for to stabilize your blood pressure and to make sure you don't have seizures while you're going into labor. And they're like, the first 20 minutes you're going to be like extremely hot. Mind you, the room when I first walked in this room, well, we got wheeled in the room, was so freaking cold. I was like, oh my god, because all I had on was a gown, the hospital gown. You know, if you've been in the hospital and you had to be in one of those, they're like not thick, and it's wintertime. So as soon as they started me on magnesium, I was burning up. Like, I felt like I was on fire. My skin felt like it was about to melt off. I was just like, this cannot be life. Like, it was the most absolutely worst feeling I ever felt. I never felt that hot in my life. And after 20 minutes, it really did, like, get better. I started feeling normal again. I was hooked up to IVs and everything. I was just hooked up to a lot of stuff. And the monitor, I think, was still around my stomach. So around this time, now it's like 1 or 2. I didn't have to get the pill on my cervix because I was already so far dilated. Like, you only get to 10 dilated. So you only get to 10 centimeters dilated before you hit a baby, and I was already at 4, so I only need to dilate 6 more centimeters. So they didn't have to insert the pill in the cervix to make it thin out. So they just would start me on Pitocin, which is artificially starting your labor process. So they said they would start me at Pitocin at 5 in the morning, or 5:30 in the morning. And like the next couple hours went fast. I was watching a movie with my boyfriend, so like I think I fell asleep at some point. I think they started me on Pitocin and I fell asleep, and I woke up and then they were like, I was like, am I already on Pitocin? They were like, yeah, we started you on Pitocin like 30 minutes ago. So I think at some point I fell asleep because I just like I was okay. And the hospital bed is not comfortable. Like even though I was in the bed, I was uncomfortable. My boyfriend was he was a bit more comfortable than the last time. This room was a little bit more accommodating. It had a couch and a recliner. My last room, when I was there on the 35-week one, only had a couch, and my mom and my boyfriend had to share the couch, and it was just a mess. But this room was a little bit more accommodating, so he was in a recliner next to me. So I'm on Pitocin at this point, and nothing happened. From like 5 to 10, I was basically asleep. I know it's 7 in the morning. My boyfriend's mother had came, and she was waiting around with us. And then at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, that's when the doctor on call, he came and he broke my water. Like, he broke my water. It was the craziest thing ever, because I think they used like a little hook or something. That's what my boyfriend said, it looked like a little hook. And he broke my water. Now, mind you, all this time I kept thinking to myself, like, in the back of my head, like, what if my water broke somewhere at home and I didn't know? And I think I was actually leaking fluid at some point because my amniotic fluid had got a little low. But baby heartbeat was still good or whatever. But I'm like, what if my water broke all this time? And so when they go to break my water, nothing happened. And then I'm just looking stupid because I was just too scared to ask somebody. But no, it's so crazy. When your water breaks, it just feels like you really peeing on yourself. Like, it felt like I could not stop peeing on myself. And it felt nasty. As soon as they broke it, I was like, I feel like I'm peeing on myself. He was like, that's normal. But as soon as I finished breaking your water, you're going to be asking for an epidural watch. Now, mind you, I had contractions all the way up until he broke my water. But they were manageable. I was talking through them. I was fine. Since he broke my water, I lied to you now. Like 2 seconds later, I was like, I want an epidural. So when the anesthesiologist came in, my boyfriend mother had to leave out, and I had to sit up. But they had to help me sit up because I was on magnesium, and they had blood pressure cuffs on my legs, massaging my legs. And I did not understand why they had these on my legs, but this was to keep the blood circulating because I was just in one spot for so long and not moving my body really. So my boyfriend mother left out, and I sat to the side of the bed, and he brought this table around for me to like lay on, like to lay over, like hunch over, and a pillow. I think the epidural was the worst part than the actual birthing part, which is crazy to me, and it sounds so crazy. Well, it don't, because the needle is going in your spine, but still, pushing out a baby out of your body sounds painful to you. But let me tell you how shit got real. So I'm holding onto the pillow. My boyfriend trying to talk to me at the time, and I'm just like, he trying to distract me, but I just know this needle about to go on my spine, and I can't hope for the best because I know this shit about to hurt. I know I have a high tolerance for pain, but a needle on my spine just freaked me the hell out, like, so bad. So he's placing the needle in. He's like, keep my back a certain way. He said either keep it in or keep it out, but I pushed it the opposite way. And I thought I was paralyzed, but I could still move. So I was scared. But I think the worst part was the medicine going in. But it got even worse because he couldn't find the nerve he was looking for, whatever. And he had to go deeper, which had me about to cry. That whole process took like 20 minutes. Like, I'm not going to lie, it hurt so bad. And then he gave me this dropper. I could push the dropper like 3 times within the hour if I felt like the epidural was went enough, which I thought would be great, but it got funny. So he left out. My boyfriend mother came back in. My mother came in like 15 minutes later, and I'm all, numb from like my stomach down. So they helped me put my legs back on the bed because I'm like, it's like dead weight at this point, and I'm just like, damn, this shit crazy. So I shouldn't feel nothing. So I was having contractions on the monitor next to me, and I couldn't even really feel them. Like, I was feeling good. Like, is this all birthing is? Like, I can do this. This is about nothing. Lies, 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 lies. Let me tell you. It got crazy. So, after about, like, an hour or two, now at this point, it's like 2:30. This is when I start feeling, like, the contractions again. I'm like, it felt like I have to poop. Like, I cannot lie all day until I gave birth. I kept saying I feel like I have to poop. They said this just means the baby head dropped lower. I said, no, it really feel like I'm about to poop on myself. I kept saying it. Like, I was so scared to open my legs because I'm like, I'm scared the baby going to fall out. I'm not sure if that's what the lightning crotch sensation feels like, but I know that it just kept feeling like I was going to poop if I just moved too much. So I was, when you're in, I don't know if you guys know, but if you haven't given birth or you're pregnant right now, you're watching this video trying to figure out what to expect, during labor, you cannot eat. Like, you can have a clear liquid diet. So I had water, some ginger ale, and an icy. I had chicken broth the last time I had came in. I thought I was going to give birth, but I didn't have it that time. I wanted food, but I couldn't eat. Because, like, think about it. You doing all that pushing, you can probably poop, throw up, anything. So, and that compares to the baby, especially if you, like, poop while you pushing. Like, so I'm glad I didn't eat, even though I was starving. So, yeah, I was, like, feeling dehydrated. I started drinking my water so fast, I threw it up. Like, stuff was making me sick. It was projectile vomiting, too. Like, I don't know if I drank it too fast, but I was laying back, and I kept saying, like, I'm about to throw up. And it's like I couldn't move fast enough to get to a cup to throw up in. So while I was trying to sit up, everybody just looking at me. And I started throwing up so much, I started choking. It got in my hair, my face, my gown. And everybody was rushing over to help me. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, they said, we could see it all on your face. I'm like, well, if y'all could see it all on my face that I was about to throw up, why you ain't come help me early? I don't know. Everybody was moving in slow motion, it felt like. So, at this point, it's like 3 o'clock. I done pushed the little button the anesthesiologist left on my bed to push if, I felt like the epidural went off. Because at this point, I'm trying to breathe through the contraction. Now, it's just getting intense. And I'm like, I thought I had that epidural, but I still couldn't move my legs, so I knew the epidural was working. They leave the epidural needle in your back, and I never knew that. So, I'm like, it's so much stuff I wasn't educated on. Like, I wish I did a lot of research, but still, I feel like you can never do enough because I didn't even know what to really Google. Like, everybody's birthing story is different, so, like, man, shit was crazy. So I kept pushing the button, and after 3 times, I'm like, it hurt, like, it felt like it wore off, but I couldn't move my legs. So he came back in, and I think gave me another dose, but he said I think that was the last dose he could give me. But he gave me that dose, y'all, and I still was feeling those contractions. Like, at this point, I was almost crying, like, but I was such a soldier, y'all. Like, I did so good. Like, I did end up crying, but not doing the epidural. Not doing the epidural, not nowhere where you would think I would probably cry and why I cried. But anyway, back to the story. Um, I pushed, by 3:30, 4 o'clock, I felt like I really could not bear it no more. Like, the constructions were stronger. They were getting closer and closer. They went from like 4 and 5 minutes apart down to 3 minutes apart, down to 2 minutes apart, down to one, back to two, back to three, back to one, but never more than 3 minutes apart. And it was just so hard to talk. Like, I was in so much pain. I was just sitting there being good though, like eating ice chips, drinking my water, just trying to really prepare myself mentally for this life changing journey. So, it was just a lot. I know. By like 4:30, no, by like 4:30, 5 o'clock, my actual doctor who came in and helped me deliver, when shit started moving fast, because the day just was like so fast. She came in and she's like, I'm going to check your cervix. And, yo, she went to freaking check my cervix and she automatically said it's time to push. That was it. So they turned the lights on in the room. It got bright. They turned the TV off, broke the bed down. The stirrups came out, and I couldn't find my mother. My mother had left out. I think I had fell asleep, and when I woke up, my mother had stepped out, and I'm like, somebody call my mother. Like, what's going on? Like, I can't do this. Like, really started acting like a baby. Like, I was really freaking out because it was my mom, my boyfriend, and me in the room. Yeah, I was really freaking out so bad. So finally, they got a hold of my mom. She walked in at the perfect time. Like, she literally walked in at the perfect time. I was freaking out. And they're like, push. And I'm like, I can't really feel. Remember I told you I was feeling the contractions, but I couldn't really feel me pushing. Like, I didn't even know if I was really doing it right. I just know I got tired fast. Like, I swear, like, after 4 or 5 pushes, though, she was out. Like, once I got to her head, like, she went back up, I think, a little bit, because I kind of, like, gave up. I was like, I got tired. I was like, and there was so much going on. My brother had called my mother in the middle of me giving birth. Like, it was the craziest thing ever. And she stayed on the phone with him the whole time. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Really, Mom? This is not the time. Like, hang up. But she couldn't because some stuff that was going on. But still, it was just like, really? It was just a mess. And then when they finally got past her head, finally, her shoulders, when they got to her shoulders and pulled it out, it was a weird sensation, like, but I started crying right before her head got all the way out. I just got real emotional. I felt like I wasn't doing a good job. I'm like, I'm about to be a mother. I can't even get her out. I'm not going to do a good job. Like, all these thoughts started running through my head during this process, and I calmed myself down because it was crazy. I remember, like, get her out of here. And my doctor was like, one more push, we good. And it was like she had so much hair when they was feeling her hair before she even came all the way out. It was just a lot. And I had got emotional. And when she came out screaming. And I was so happy I heard her scream because I was so scared that the cord might get wrapped around her neck and I would have to go to do an emergency C-section. And I was just so scared of all these things because I was reading people was losing their babies at 32 weeks, 33 weeks, 34, 35, 36 because they had stopped feeling as much movement. And I felt like that too, but I'm like, it's also less room, so I can't keep freaking myself out. So I'm glad I had heard her screaming. And I'm like, she's a preemie. And to hear her scream so loud, her lungs was like, I thought they weren't fully developed, but I think they're fully developed now. But I don't think they were completely fully developed. But remember, I had got those 2 steroid shots at 30 weeks, and I think that helped prepare her so much. And she came out 6 pounds, 5 ounces, and she was a little small fry. She's still kind of small, but she didn't have to do no NICU. I was so happy. My baby's so healthy. She had to get her foot stuck every time before she ate, to check her glucose level, to make sure she was breaking down sugar properly, to make sure everything was okay. And she did good each time. She had to do the car seat test before we could take her home. She passed that. She passed everything she needed to pass. It was just me having all the problems. My blood pressure was still kind of high, so they kept me on magnesium up until it was time for me to go to the mother baby unit. And before I can go to the mother baby unit, I had to take this blood pressure medicine. Just to let me even be able to go upstairs. Y'all, had the best nurse while I was there. She was awesome. She left at one point, but I seen her again the next day, and I had got another nurse in between, and I didn't like her. She was too rough with me, like. But the other nurse I had was awesome. She was my favorite. I don't even want to see her name, but she was fast, and she didn't get tired of me keep running her back and forth. I felt so bad, but she was awesome. Like, I will never forget her. Anyway, when I finally got to go upstairs, I couldn't even, no, before I could even go upstairs, they had to wait 24 hours to make sure I was off magnesium, to make sure I was okay. So before I even left, they kept, I meant to say that they were checking my reflexes. While you're on magnesium, they check your reflexes a lot. So it was like, and making sure my breathing was okay. And they kept pushing on my stomach to make sure my uterus shrunk back to its size or whatever. They was doing that the whole time in between, checking my reflexes and keeping the blood pressure cuffs on my legs to make sure the blood was flowing. And I didn't understand why until I got up and tried to walk. My nurse had to come in and help me. I could not walk. Like, it felt like dead weight. It felt like I was paralyzed because they had took the epidural out as soon as I had the baby. Didn't even know. But when it came time for me to get up and walk, my nurse had to walk with me. It took me so long. Like, I was moving in slow motion. I said, this must be what a this must what a paralyzed person feel like. Like, if they probably tried to get up and walk, like they would fall to the ground. It felt like I was about to fall to the ground. Like, I felt like nothing but dead weight. Like, I felt so heavy. Like, oh my god, I couldn't even take a shower. I had to do a sitz bath where they just gave you this bottle like of warm water and some antibacterial spray, which I have on my dresser. They gave me one of these, which is antimicrobial cleanser, targeted cleansing, no rinse nourishing formula to decrease bacteria and other microorganisms, non-allergenic and non-sensitizing. They give me this in a bottle that it look like you douche with, which is just water. I think what you douche with, and I just sat and just sprayed that every time I went to the bathroom, and I couldn't take a bath though I couldn't take a shower until I got home. So I finally got to go to mother baby unit. The room was smaller, and that's just one step before you can leave the hospital. And I got up there, my room was smaller, but it was nice. I ain't gonna lie, it was nice. That room had a recliner, a couch as well, and a bed, and it was cool. And I got to go home, not that night, but the next night. So I stayed from like Monday to Thursday or Monday to Friday. I got to go home the next night, but I do know I had went through a lot before I could go home. They even had to make sure my blood pressure was okay enough for me to go home. They sent I got to go home. I took some, like a big thing of pads with me, some diapers, some bottles, some Pampers. Like, I took all of that stuff that was in my room with me home. Enjoyed. I would include some pictures in this video of her, especially what she has on today. I can't actually put her in front of the camera because someone's watching her for me right now, because she's just being so fussy right now, and I wouldn't even be able to make this video, and I just needed a little downtime because I feel like nobody is ever freaking really honest about how hard it is to raise a newborn. I feel like people just like see newborns and just like, oh, they're so cute. Oh, it's like it's a task within a task, and like when you can get some free time, take advantage of it, because like, it's a lot. I don't sleep. It's hard to eat. I don't even take my blood pressure medicine anymore. I forgot to mention, my blood pressure has been normal for like the last week. It's actually been kind of low and on the normal side. And I only been eating like once, maybe twice a day. And I already lost 15 pounds within 6 days just from giving birth. I don't know if I was stomach. I lost 15 pounds within the first 6 days. I don't even know how much I weigh now. I know I was 4 pounds away from my pre-pregnancy weight the last time I got on the scale, which was a week ago. So I could have lost more weight. I think my iron's actually low because I've been so cold, and I'm not a person who's usually cold. I'm usually hot. So I think my iron's been pretty low. But I really don't feel like people are honest enough about how hard it is to raise a newborn. I want you to know it's just so fucking hard. Like, I cry with my baby sometimes. Like, we look at each other and we cry together. Like, it's 4 or 5:30 in the morning. We're looking at each other crying together. It's the hardest thing I ever had to do. And trying to mentally, like, take care of myself and physically take care of her. It's a task within a task. Motherhood is so hard. And I feel like postpartum depression is not talked about enough. And I see how easy it is for women to go through it, because it is so overwhelming to feel like you have help, but you don't have help at the same time. So I know how it feels, and I know how it feels to feel like you don't have nobody, especially while you're raising a newborn, and how those thoughts can consume you and take over. But I just try to take some time to myself whenever I can and sleep when she sleeps. That's the best thing I've been doing, is just sleeping when she does, even if it's only for an hour or two. Just taking that rest when I can, and when her dad can help when he's not at work. It's just I just take that help when I can. Like, don't ever like turn down help, because your body needs rest. I'm only I'll be 3 weeks postpartum when I post this video, so I still have another 3 weeks to go before I'm all the way out the clear. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I'll be sure to check them out and try to respond to as many as I can. And I hope this quality looks bomb, because this camera is. But I'll see you all next time. Bye.